All right, guys, you voted that you want more music theory and melody tutorials. You know, when the light's out, we're about to cook. So basically, let me show you guys the 3-chord method. Here we're going to start. This is a Drake reference as well. So here we have C sharp or D flat minor. Okay, you guys can just copy the notes. All right, then we're going to play up 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 notes. So we're going to take the root note. This is where we're building the chord. Okay, a 9th chord specifically right now. We're going to take the root note and count up 7 notes. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And then we're going to create a chord from here. Now, because you can use all the black notes, you can kind of freestyle the in-between notes. So disregard the name because it really is just G sharp. Okay, so don't think of it as all these like complicated names. It's G sharp. You can play however you want. So let's go from here, chord 1. And let's add a little change up. Now here for the change up, we're adding what's called a 5th. Again, 7 notes away. Here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. We're adding that in as a change up. So we're taking this chord and then we're adding these notes in, okay, as a change up. And now it's seen as A flat, which is G sharp. All right, so now where does the 3rd chord come into play? The 3rd chord comes into play. Okay, we have 1st chord, 2nd chord. Now for the 3rd chord, we're gonna go up to the 5th of G sharp. So remember, we started at C sharp. We're gonna count up 7 notes. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. We're gonna count up 7 more notes. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And we're gonna create a chord from this point, D sharp. All right, so all you gotta know is the number 7, really. It's your starting chord. Count up 7 semitones, create a chord, create a change up. You can use intervals like a 5th. And then let's go up. All right, it always works, you guys. The number 7 is so ubiquitous in music, it's crazy. Now this looks more complicated on this screen because of all these complicated names. I'm telling you guys, it's just C sharp. Then we're playing 7 up from there, G sharp. And then we're playing D sharp. Back. Very basic. All right, now let's hop into FL Studio. Let's open up. Let's do, you know, we should do Toxic Biohazard because I want to show you guys if we turn this into an arpeggio, I want to see what it sounds like. So first, let's do straightforward playing, and then I'll do like stylistic playing. Let's go to default. Toxic Biohazard, super slept on. Let's just turn these numbers to 20. This basically modulates each oscillator by each oscillator. Okay. And creates a nice bitey tone, so it should sound like this. Let's add a little more sauce on it, and then we're gonna pan 1 to the right, 1 to the left. So we have oscillator 1 on the left and oscillator 2 on the right. So let's create those same chords. All right, so let's record this in just to show you guys. I'm gonna record more stiff, meaning I'm not gonna do this type of thing. We're just gonna play the whole chord. All right, so again, I kind of freestyled here and there. So let's hit, now for the glissando notes, we're gonna leave those, or the grace notes, whatever you wanna call them. Let's hit Control Shift, highlight these notes, hit Shift Q, and we're gonna leave these other notes alone. All right, now an easy way to kind of create a melody from chords is to understand that every melody comes from a chord. Even scales come from chords, okay? So when you guys skip over chords and you think going to a scale is gonna solve your issue, that's why you guys get so stuck. It's because when you break away from the scale, you unlock so much activity. All right, so let me shave off the end there. Okay, and then we're gonna hit Alt-A on the keyboard. This will turn it into an arpeggio. You guys could just change your octave range to 2. Everything here is normal. I don't think I've ever changed these settings, so just hit accept. Now for those who watched my latest video, you already saw this. So let's go to the mixer. Let's hit Control L, send it to the mixer. Actually, I didn't hit Control L, just arrowed up. Let's hit Control L. It will name it for you guys. And let me show you guys some cool plugins you guys can amp up your melodies with So for example, this is where post-production comes into play. So here's transporter, and we're gonna turn it to tempo mode, and you guys can mess with these like different time signature bounces, okay? And then we're gonna turn up the octave shift, and then mess with the spread. Let's slow it down just a little bit. All right, so now we have a contrast. Okay, so we're adding a contrast layer because the contrast is the triplet timing over top of the quarter timing. And we can also reverse. And we can turn these down so it's not taking over the whole sound. So that little detail, you know, just adds so much to the melody. Now from here, I showed you guys before, this is all taste. You don't have to copy these. Let's just go to Fruity Limiter here. We're gonna use the saturation mode and then turn up the gain into the saturator to add like a bite. We're gonna turn the ceiling up. Let's add Fruity Soft Clipper in here. And we're just gonna turn down the post level here. This isn't doing anything, it's just, we're using it as a volume knob basically. Now because there's so much movement with this sound, let's identify what the sound is actually doing. We have harmony, we have rhythm, and we have a top line, because when you split up harmony into different notes, it's perceived as a top line. So this serves as three of the components of what makes a song. And then we have the contrast layer because of that triplet timing. So when you break everything down into these components, everything makes sense. The top line is the memorable melody. The harmony is your chords, or the glue to the track. The contrast layer is the difference from the top line, usually a bass line that adds density. And then the rhythm section is what creates perceived timing. So all those combined, like I said, we have contrast because of the transporter plugin. We have a top line because we split up the chord and it's going upward, so it feels like a top line. We have harmony because underneath the hood is actually just chord progression. And then we have rhythm. So we've satisfied every single one of these categories in one thing. I'm going to be fancy and add another operator in here. We don't need to do all this fancy stuff. I'm just being extra here. Just giving it a little decay curvature here. So now it sounds like a little pluck. Alright, so really luxurious melody right here. Now what's another way we can use this 3-chord system? Let's, this time we're gonna write the chords. Dang, I wish there was a way to like pull back the chords, but we're just gonna have to re-record this in. So we're gonna C sharp minor, 9. Now I'm gonna take these effects off because these effects transform the way we hear it. So let's record these back in. All right, so a little bit different of a take that time around, but what we're gonna do is just leave that top little note there that flickers up. Let's hit Shift Q. All right, so now we have the chords. What we can do to create melody is think about your chords in 1 octave. Even though we're in almost, what is this? Let me see, we're in 2 octaves technically. Think about your chords as a separate octave thing, okay? And what we're gonna do is use the top note of the chord as the barrier, I'll say. Okay, so basically the top line, for our ear to distinguish the difference between the chords, I've found that an octave of separation helps the ear understand that we're, creating a top line versus just it being part of the chord progression. Now, I would sit here and click notes in, but that would just take too long. So a formula here is this, very simple. We're gonna take the root note. We could start here. Okay, and again, I'm gonna just play this in so it's a little bit better. We're going to play this in. All right, so here we have D sharp, and then we're going to go up 7 notes. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So that's always going to be a note that sounds cohesive with the chords. Now keep in mind, this isn't the root note, so we got to be careful not to jump away too far. So I guess the safer way is go up 5 notes, which is a perfect fourth. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And it will be a little more safely harmonious. And we can bounce around these 2 notes. We can do sharp tonic, flat tonic, sharp fourth, which is technically a flat fifth. So any notes around these notes we can pivot to. Now let's see how many notes this is away. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So in this melody structure, stacking perfect fourths sounds very melodic. Perfect fifth sounds too fighting against the chord progression. So let's kind of bounce around those notes. And all we need is 3 notes. Everything else is just a freestyle. So we have D sharp, G, and then C. Okay, so again, everything else is a freestyle. Let's record this in. And I'm also going to use pitch wheel too. That's another thing. So let's try some of that. I forgot we need to separate the tone here because the pitch bend affected everything, as you guys just heard. So let's separate this into its own thing. Now, normally I record on 2 different patterns. I don't like recording in the same pattern for many different reasons. Let's add this in. So I played a couple wrong notes, but it's okay because again, it's about pivoting from those 3 things. So now let's go in and just see where we hit the wrong note, and then we can just edit. Here I messed up just from the performance, and I forgot to do one thing. We need to turn on monophonic mode. Let me see where. Let's put it on polyphony, monophonic mode. And also we need to go into the back here and turn this slide amount up. Now this, the notes you don't hear are the pitch bends. So let's go back. Now I meant to go like that. So I missed a note here. So let me see if I can force it in. Maybe not. Let's try it though. So I don't know why it doesn't sound the same in my head. Oh, you know what? We need this. All right, this is why drawing in notes takes so long. All right, y'all. We're gonna quantize this. Hit Shift Q, and hit Shift Q here. We're gonna hit Alt to nudge this note to the right so that it slurs into it as long as the note overlaps. And now we need to make sure these notes overlap. I'm also gonna quantize the start point, hitting Shift Q. And now we can go in and add effects. Now here, this is a little too much when I held that note. And we're gonna double click here, add a slide note, and then we'll slide the pitch down so it has like a finishing tone. But really I should address the chords, not the lead here. So I'm actually gonna go back to the chord. I'm trying to figure out which, I guess if we do this. So I'm trying to have it slide down here. Oh, duh, just make the note longer, duh. There we go. All right, now let's go to the chords and just fix, this part was not supposed to overlap like this. All right, let's go to tools, remove overlaps here, boom. And then we need to remove this from happening because I was trying to do too much. Now, again, for people who don't have MIDI controllers, there is a way to do pitch bends. You would have to go inside of your plugin window, go to the pitch range here, and you have to right click and create an automation clip. So this is the same thing as me. So I usually go down in pitch first with the pitch wheel, hit a note, and then go up. Now EDM or Rage and all that, they do the opposite. So you play a note, then you go up. It's just a different movement. R&B does the opposite. Okay, so you guys can automate that. It's just a little more tedious. Now here I'm gonna do. It's kind of hard because you can't see the pitch bend, but it goes up, down. See if I can get the timing here, y'all. I might have to add in a little note in between. Now, if you go a whole step, it's a little bit more of a natural tone. If you go more a half step to the note up, it gives you more of a bluesy tone. And because I didn't do the pitch bend, I'm gonna have to add it in. So we're gonna have to add a note here. We can just add a note because it's on monophonic mode, but I'm gonna actually add the pitch bend and hit Alt. So it goes. I don't know why I pitch bend down at the end. Alright, so now, all those little details. Alright, now we can add some effect. Now, delay is always your best friend. Let's add Fruity Delay 3. Let's do Ping Pong. Let's turn the wet level down. And we can add saturation. Most people don't know if you just turn this up, it adds a distortion to the delay. You can also do a pitch wobble right here. All right, now let's say we want to take it into a different realm. We can highlight this, hit Control G to group this, and then we can right click over here and transpose. Let's go down. I like to go down in threes. So now we're three semitones from where we initially started. A little too dark for my ear. I don't know, it just doesn't sound very good. So now let's do +6. So now this should take us to +3 from our original. Cool tone, but let me show you guys one more. I'm like, let me show you guys one more thing. All right, let's convert this to audio. Let's consolidate. And what we're gonna do here is double click on the audio, go to mode, stretch mode. This will give it a time length, and then switch it back to resample mode. So now when we change the BPM, it will actually change the tuning. We can do the opposite. And then we can send this to the mixer, hit Control L. We could chop it up in Fruity Slicer. There's a million things we could do from here. Let's just add Looperator. This plugin's becoming one of my favorites. And it's not a tutorial on how to use Looperman. We're just clicking in random things like a tape stop, for example. Then we could add little stutters. And it just adds more movement to the sound, so it's not this like sustained sound, it's more of a transient sound. That's hard. And if you're experimental, you can add shaper box. Personally speaking, shaper box is a little convoluted for me. Even though I know how to sound design and stuff, just these windows are just too, like, I don't know, it's like too much. Like, I don't know, it's just too much for me. I just need something quick. This is very, you got to be like into this plugin to really master it. But this is one of my favorite presets. I don't think it's gonna work on this one. Let me take off Looperator. It kind of has a cool sound. I feel like because we're so high up in the frequencies. But that's a cool one. This one, I don't know, this is dragging the song down a little bit. All right, so there is your formula on how to create really dope melodies using stock plugins. Well, FL Studio stock starting sound, and then we went into Looperator technically, and shaper box. All right, y'all. So go to busyworksbeats.com/premium. I got you guys. Peace out.